Raging Dragon to 1. This card is available at 1 copy, but this change is made so that they can't use Limit 1 cards, especially Orchestrated Babel. Therefore, they are actually targeting the mixed version. I also seen some versions with Trickstar which also has a Limit 1 field spell, so they splash oddeyes to any deck nowadays, and that's what Konami doesn't want. To be honest, I'm on their side about this one. Mixing 2 powerful decks is what breaks the game. So what they do with Mech Knights is allowing you to run more copies of Purple Nightfall and World Legacy's Memory, but they also move the Indigo Eclipse to 2. Still, this isn't bad since you can run more copies of the Limit 3 cards now, because you run 1 Blue Sky and 1 Indigo Eclipse anyway. Finally, they are actually hitting Speedroids in some way. Limiting this card to 2 is much likely going to remove it from the deck since they already have Limit 2 Speedroid Double Yo-Yo, and that's a must-have card in the deck. Still, it'll be as good as ever since this card was just the cherry on the top of the cake compared to the what deck offers to do. Mainly their skill is quite powerful. We will be talking about it at skill adjustments later. They are taking a step back of what they did during the previous Banlist. You can now run it in Onomat with Gagaga Revenge. You can also run it at 2 copies in Burning Abyss now, which is also good. Orcust is getting more hits apparently. But the main reason for putting this card to 2 is much likely to prevent them from using Charge of the Light Brigade in case someone tries that to revive it. Well, at least that's my take on it. We talked about this change actually, but now that I'm thinking, they know you run it at 1 anyway, but seems like they still didn't wanted Mech Knights to run Limit 2 cards. I don't see them using any Limit 2 cards, so I don't really get what this change is about. They are only usable alongside Crusadia right now. By the way, I'm working on this deck, and it'll be coming right after this video. HARP Horror to 3. This takes all the powerful Limit 3 staples from this deck, which actually saddens me too since I was using it with Cosmic Cyclone to trigger my skill. Orcust is a powerful deck due to their ability to have follow-up with their graveyard effects, and it's much more of an engine to other powerful decks these days. So I can't complain about this since they splash 2 powerful decks into each other and then put powerful staples and don't give other decks a chance to win. Kind of weird change for DDD. They are moving this card to Limit 3 and removing DD Savant Kepler from the Limited 3 list, which was vice versa before. I don't know how exactly this affects the deck, but I think this doesn't really changes anything since you need both in the deck. Gate searches for the DDD Doom King Armageddon for your skill to be activatable, and Savant Kepler searches for the Gate, so you need both, and you can only play 3 out of the Kepler and Gate, since they are both limited to 3. Honestly, I don't think it'd make the deck meta even if they unlimited all of their cards, so Konami is kind of acting weird here. It got limited due to Infernity abusing it, and now that they are dead with single Infernity launcher, it's okay to use this card, Konami says. It's a good free-to-play card, actually. Ritual Beasts are finally making their return after very, very long time. This is one of their important cards that allows an additional summon. Fan favorite Dark Magician is also back. Navigation is one of the most important cards for Dark Magician, but players had to give up on it both due to Magician's magic skills restriction and also due to Magician's Rod being also limited to 3. Now that both of them are back, I'm also happy that we can play them in the old day. Obviously, though, you can't use Magician's magic with this card. It restricts you to only being able to summon level 6 monsters during opponent's turn. Unlimit for Ritual Beasts. This card, when gets destroyed, special summons a Ritual Beast from your deck or extra deck, so it's pretty good. We have Dingirsu now, which gets rid of cards with such effects, so it's okay to have this card in the game. All Gookie cards are officially unlimited. They had unlimits during the previous ban list, which made them playable again, and this makes them even better. Still though, I think Go Onizuka needs his skill to be buffed or something, or people will keep playing it with Playmaker's 3 effects skill, so I think it should get the Blue Angel's Holly Angel Trick skills treatment. Nice buff for metal foes. This is their quick play fusion spell. What's even better is that they can now use super polymerization, and as you know, they have Fusion Monster that requires just a Metal Foes monster and a monster with 2500 attack or lower Metal Foes Adamante, or a Metal Foes monster and 2 monsters with 3000 or less attack, Metal Foes Crimsonite. This is actually pretty huge to mess up your opponent's board. Rod is also getting unlimited, as we mentioned earlier. This is Dark Magician deck's most important searcher. Kepler is free and Gate is being limited to 3. Both the Jet Synchron and this card being limited to 3 hurted the deck a lot. Now that this card is free, we can play Synchron more optimally. This card searches for a Synchron monster from the deck and sends the top card of your deck to the graveyard, so it's setting up what junk Synchron needs. This unlimit allows armed dragon decks to be able to use limited 3 cards. Can be used in any water deck. Recently this card have seen success with Mermail Atlantean decks, and was limited due to that, but Konami releases it back. This card is quite good in any hero deck, but was limited. Now that it is unlimited, you can use it alongside Elemental Hero Brave Neos, which also is a limited to 2 card. Karakuri finally got their searcher unlimited and they are back at full power. Now that Raging Dragon is limited to 1, Konami decides to free this card. Honestly, I'm not sure about leaving Oddeyes at full power is a good idea or not, but seems like they'll be patient about it and saving this deck for the next Banlist. Aloof is finally back. This is a generic support for the decks that likes their cards being banished, such as Thunder Dragons and Metaphys, and was limited due to Thunder Dragons being meta. And here we have the skill changes. Not a very good change here. Nobody used Phoenix Gearfried anyway, and you special summon Immortal Phoenix Gearfried with its effect, so I don't think this will make a change at all. They are finally buffing this skill after very long time, and I'm very happy about it. You can now also use Dark YZ monsters in your extra deck, which means you can use cards such as Dingirsu, the Orcust of the Evening Star, Evil Swarm Nightmare, Steel Swarm Roach, and Dark Rebellion XYZ Dragon, which are all powerful cards. Quite good nerf for the Speedroids. Their skill was insanely powerful. Change is that now you have to return 1 card from your hand to your deck if you want to send a Speedroid Red-Eyed Dice or a Synchro to the graveyard. And like I said, you can only send the Red-Eyed Dice. Previously, you was able to send any tuner to the graveyard. Overall, I'm quite satisfied with this Banlist. It brings back lots of old decks back into the game. Still, Cyber Dragons, Dark Lords, and I believe some other decks have cards that needs to be free. I'm hoping for that in future. One more thing I'm concerned about is that Oddeyes needed some kind of hit, but all they did is removing Orcust's field spell. Nonetheless, this Banlist is quite good and balanced. Thanks for watching. If you find this video helpful, you can subscribe and leave a comment. Also, you can share it with your friends who might be interested.